you see it? I don't see anything. Oh,
Look at the size of that thing!
Dude, that's not a bear! That's not a bear! That's not a bear!
Hold on to your seats because this video, which comes directly from Japan, depicts something quite unsettling. Before there was anything unusual, a local filmmaker captured what seemed to be a typical day and street scene. The person who recorded this saw movement out of the corner of his eye as he was strolling down the street. He looks up, and sure enough, he zoomed in on a tree. And there's a monster that's unlike anything I've ever seen sitting there. It has a humanoid form and pointed ears, and it reminds me of a bat. I'm thinking, I don't know, gargoyle meets gothic horror. Basically, this would be a fitting addition to a spooky old cathedral. The thing hovers there for a short while before taking off, leaving the person filming completely alarmed. But hold on, it becomes more bizarre. It seems that other residents of the town have also spotted these creatures. What? This is absurd. What is this thing then? A bat with mutations. This must be some kind of movie prop, according to one commenter. Well, I'm not sure. Although the video doesn't state, it certainly raises questions. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Is this something more realistic or a real monster? The most of us have probably seen The Walking Dead. What are your thoughts on zombies? Is it scary reality or fiction? You might reconsider after watching this video. This creature captured on a trail camera has the appearance of something from a zombie film. Look at this thing, I mean. It has a gaunt body and limbs, moves slowly, and is rigid. And the odd way it's simply randomly roaming around. In fact, this is very eerie. Is this evidence of the existence of zombies? I feel like this is either the actual thing or a fake, but I say this a lot. Ultimately, though, it's eerie in any case. Although mermaids have long been associated with myth, this video, which was taken by a camper who was hidden, shows something else. The film, which was shot behind the rocks of a remote lagoon, depicts vivid, clear waters where something remarkable appears. Something that looks like a mermaid. The figure appears as the camera moves closer. Her blonde hair was flowing and gleaming underneath. Her movements are elegant. She flicked her silvery tail in the water with ease. I briefly believed I was staring at an extraterrestrial visage before I regained my senses. What do we think of this clip, though? Should we investigate this further, or dismiss it as just another well-thought-out hoax? It's quite difficult to tell what is real and what is phony in this next eerie clip. CCTV shows a little girl strolling around her house. Without any background information, it was reposted to TikTok. As you can see, things quickly take a frightening turn. The girl panics and rushes to the door when the lights begin to flicker, but it refuses to open. A dark figure appears to be moving toward her in the shadows while she is trapped, sobbing for assistance. Just when things seem hopeless, someone, possibly her brother, shows up and opens the door, allowing her to leave without identifying themselves or the source of the footage. It's almost like an arm reaching out to grab her. There is no way to know for certain what happened. Was there actually a haunting here? Did it get staged? Was she being tricked by her brother? You decide because the video finishes without providing any answers. Is this a sophisticated fake, or is it real? Grandma is shown in the following clip when she is simply celebrating a birthday. She is content and surrounded by her family. Now, this undoubtedly seems like a typical video to me and the majority of viewers. However, if we keep an eye out, we may spot anything that could keep you up at night. Have you noticed it? A shadowy form of a young girl is racing past the grandmother as everyone is singing. Some users thought this might just be a partygoer or a child rushing in front of the camera. The camera isn't that ancient. After all, it could have captured a child running past it. How fast is this kid really? It wasn't until the uploader said that the grandma, who is celebrating her birthday, lost a little daughter who was roughly the same age as the shadow person that raced past her. I suppose this could be a glitch. However, chasing her siblings through this very house was one of the woman's favorite activities until her daughter tragically died many years ago. Family members have openly stated that there is some comfort there, despite the fact that it scares us. That's all that matters, I suppose. On April 17, 2021, a man in Florida was strolling along a beach when he noticed an odd object washing up on the coast. As he approached, he began to doubt his first assumption that it was only a fish or even a seal. The creature's strange double flippers were what really confused him. Even stranger was the upper body, though. Its skeleton was lengthy and nearly humanoid. It reminded me of a mermaid. It was difficult to determine the body's initial appearance because most of it had deteriorated from being there for so long. It might have been a manatee, seal, or even a whale, according to some people's conjectures. Honestly, though, nobody knows for certain what this monster was while it was living. Quite crazy, isn't it? In my opinion, it might be something unnamed because our ocean is home to so many unexplained critters. Just know that the Bigfoot tale will always endure despite all of the haters out there. Yes, things have slowed down over the past year or so, but occasionally fresh images or films come to light that provide further insight into the actual Bigfoot species.
Can you see it? I don't see anything.
Oh, look at the size of that thing! Gee, that's not a bear! That's not a bear! That's not a bear!
Okay, so these two friends are simply going camping. All they want to do is unwind over the weekend. They hear an odd noise while they are close to Ashen Lake. Actually, the knocking is rhythmic. They compared it to a huge woodpecker pounding on the trees. However, they reasoned that this must be the largest woodpecker in the world because it must be enormous to produce such a sound. Well, they decided to investigate it once their curiosity overcame them. To be honest, they were hoping to spot a bear, but as they approached, something in the trees stirred. They became uncomfortable while filming because they couldn't obtain a really clear view. This is just a quick look at the video that they managed to get before leaving. Do you see that? That straight step, that easy gait, utterly disregarding the males as though they didn't exist. It's really spooky, but we simply can't get a good look at him, just like with so many prior Bigfoot encounters. Still, this is really cool video. In my opinion, they have successfully captured a Bigfoot. There is no doubt that the forest has many more bizarre secrets than humans can fathom. Have faith in that. Okay, so if this guy hadn't been ready, he would have been in a lot of pain. Although it appears that his dog is attempting to assist him, the dog ultimately has little chance against this enormous bear. Fortunately, this man will use a covert weapon. The bear says, Yeah, I think I've had enough," after he lights the flare. The bear is being pursued by the man's dog, which is nibbling at its heels. To be honest, a lot of credit should go to this dog. The mere fact that she was present undoubtedly prevented numerous possible assaults. The bear was forced to split its focus between the dog and the man. Is that frightening? The bear's smooth motion through the barrier made me think, look, that fence might have slowed her down a half-second. Nothing could have deterred her more, really. She was not bothered by that. Look, if you're wondering how long it took her to get through the fence, it's not long enough for you to get any place safely. I'm so glad they were in that truck because that bear wasn't anticipated. This clip is smaller. This guy's motocross bike seems to have been overturned on the edge of this small washout. It's difficult to know at this point whether the bear hurried him when he tried to get it, whether the riders agitated the bear, or even worse, whether the bear was the reason the man got off the bike in the first place. We see him scuttling off screen. I'll say this. I need more details, but that engine is being revved like that by quick thinking. because I believe that video might not have reached the internet if you simply dropped the other dirt bike and started fleeing. Watch this incredible wildlife photographer's drone footage. They came into a strange animal that resembled a monkey when they were investigating an open field. Take a look at this. Although it may appear to be a typical monkey at first, this creature is quite strange. Imagine a hybrid of a sloth, a monkey, and possibly an extraterrestrial. The entire monster is coated with black matted fur, and it had a tiny head, a very long tail, and long, eerie legs that it used to move around. The cherry on top is that its tail attaches to an odd lump on its back. It almost has a dinosaur-like appearance. This creature is quite creepy in every way. Theories are exploding in the video's comments section. No one is aware of its nature. What do you people believe it might be, then? Is this a long-standing hoax, a mutation, or an unidentified animal? A father in Japan recorded his two sons standing beside a tree during a family outing. He noticed something really unsettling while he was watching the video camera. You can see a pale hand clutching one of the boy's legs from behind as the father uses the camera to zoom in on the child on the left. The boy remained silent. He saw and felt nothing. However, his father became frightened and hurried over. However, the hand was gone by the time he arrived. Nothing was found when they looked around the tree. Theories went wild when the video appeared on Dark Secrets. That didn't really make sense because other people suggested an ashwang, which is typically a floating head without hands. Others spoke of a duende, a spirit of play that we have previously discussed here. Commenters speculated that it might have been something from the tree itself that had attached itself on the youngster. I have no idea what that implies. There are a lot of eerie stories, strange occurrences, and disappearances in Japanese mythology. This might be one of them. Do you believe that we captured a real paranormal event on film? Alright, I need clarification on this video. Take a look at this. At a picturesque overlook in Utah, Natalie Hintze was taking some iPhone live pictures of her sister-in-law and niece when she noticed something strange. Looking back at the live shots, she saw a bike speeding by in the distance at a breakneck speed. Here's the unsettling bit, though. There was no one on the bike, and there didn't seem to be anyone chasing it. Natalie acknowledges that she felt uneasy and spooked after seeing the unusual pictures. What the devil is happening here, then? In British folklore, pixies, fairies, elves, and similar creatures are considered mythical. There are a lot of folks who firmly believe that these animals are real. In truth, pixies are known to be helpful to regular people, occasionally assisting widows and others with household chores. However, they are not entirely sympathetic because they are known to deceive tourists. Thus, the term Pixieland. For 25 years, Erwin Saunders has been using his YouTube channel to follow the locations of a tribe of pixies in the isolated English forest that he refers to as wilderness folk. Now let's watch a video. In this film, some pixies show up while he's getting ready for a video and are interested in what he's doing. Erwin is positioned in concealment a few yards apart from a coworker, as the pixies are seen scuttling on the ground and ultimately encircling the lone guy. Now, I'll just state it at first glimpse. They appear authentic. Naturally, I'm not sure if they are, but let me state this. In my opinion, the entire operation lacks credibility because of the Pink Children's walkie-talkies. However, Erwin has a ton of videos with these pixies on his channel. I'll let you all make the decision. Still, a lot of fun. Please share your thoughts about these pixies in the comments section. Are they authentic or simply excellent CGI? The following clip is unsettling. Just standing on her back deck one evening, a woman recently told of a chilling incident she had. An experience so disturbing that she acknowledges that if it weren't for the security film that captured her response, she might not have believed it. In the footage, her dog joyfully chases after a ball in the backyard while she casually browses through her phone. Everything appears to be completely normal until it isn't. Suddenly, with a start, she turns around and screams, clearly startled. She claimed to have heard a clear tap on her shoulder, and then a voice that made her shiver. The fact that there is no evidence of anyone or anything nearby during the incident in the video further adds to how bizarre this is. Her sincere response, however, is difficult to ignore. Is there something paranormal going on here? Or is there a more logical reason for what transpired that evening? The enigma raises a lot of questions and generates a variety of responses on the internet. However, as a viewer, what do you believe actually occurred outside? As a result, this is a really odd video with little explanation. It appears as though this guy inhales some strange smoke, I'm not sure what it is, and then vanishes into the earth. Simply gone. The ground gave out like. The uploader claims to have been to a different dimension. I think that sounds fairly insane. Some people in the paranormal community do, in fact, think so. It is considered evidence of interdimensional travel. Others, well, they believe it to be a huge hoax. I have no idea what's happening. There's something strange about this video, even though it's possible that the person ended himself in a different dimension or simply fell down a hidden hole. Let me say this. Either this is a phony film or he's in another dimension. However, if you know anything more about this, please let me know. I'd be really curious. Alright, so I received this video with the statement, I think you'll be interested in this, from a buddy who is totally unfamiliar with the realm of cryptids. Despite whatever this is, I didn't have the courage to tell him that I'm rather certain it's a fake. It appears to be enormous and likely to tumble over this paddleboard-style object. In any case, it would be fantastic if someone could provide evidence that this is real. These days, cows are recognized for their size and strength rather than their ability to climb. They aren't really made for climbing trees, clambering over rocks, or anything else like that. Unbelievably, there is a bizarre video of a cow stuck high in a tree that is making the rounds. Everyone is attempting to understand how this large farm animal got into such a dangerous scenario. According to one idea, this occurred during Thailand's deluge. According to the theory, the cow may have been pushed to seek higher ground by the increasing water, or may have become entangled in the tree. However, if you pay close attention, if you watch the film carefully, you won't see any actual evidence of water. The place is absolutely dry. In fact, it appears to be too dry, and not even slightly. Thus, that theory is at best tenuous. The entire situation is mysterious, including how long the poor cow was actually caught in the tree, and how they managed to get it out. Wow, this cow really tried to jump over the moon, someone said. I'm not sure. A more practical answer must exist. This monster, after all, didn't ascend there. They are unable to fly. Nobody placed it there. In the following video, a man was filming the night sky in an unidentified area when an extremely bizarre incident occurred. Suddenly, above some electrical cables, a human-like entity came wearing a white robe with what seemed like wings. As if it wasn't weird enough, the instant the figure had emerged, the electrical cables started to spark and then made a distinct zapping sound. Only a few seconds passed during the strange scene before the apparition disappeared as eerily as it had appeared. And the zapping completely stopped at that moment. Everyone who watched the video agreed that something strange had happened. And I don't need to tell you that such a series of events is by no means normal. However, what was it exactly? Do we believe that this man caught something that we don't understand? Was this merely a malfunction in energy? Is it simple for the energy company to explain? The paranormal community continues to debate whether or not this was an extraterrestrial contact. They're leaving the enigma of an inexplicable phenomena up to conjecture. For my part, I'll just say it. It's a phony, in my opinion. I believe that someone edited that video and added that figure on top of it by doing whatever they had to. The next video shows TikTok user Mutilo4256 at roughly 8 p.m. in Thailand, driving down a desolate, silent road. Before an unpleasant incident occurred, the drive was uneventful. A woman in a white dress suddenly materialized directly in front of the automobile as they were driving down the street. The driver swerved out of reflex to avoid hitting her after becoming startled. This is where it becomes even more bizarre, though. The figure doesn't appear to be accurate after watching the dash cam film and slowing it down. It just shows up in part, as like it's fading in and out of existence. Then suddenly, it disappears completely. Could something otherworldly have been captured by this dash cam? Maybe a haunting apparition of some sort? Or is there a malfunction in the tape? Or are we just fooling ourselves? Whatever the situation, it's undoubtedly unsettling. And what you believe is happening here is up to you. This upcoming adventure vlog is quite bizarre. While racing his mountain bike through the woods, a YouTuber caught an intense moment. The cyclist can be seen riding along a picturesque forest trail in the GoPro video. Everything appears to be calm, until the video slows down and you notice a dark figure to your right, hiding behind the tree. Right now. It turned out to be nothing more than a huge bear waiting for the two bicycles to pass behind this tree. Thankfully, the bear appeared somewhat lethargic and uninterested in what these men were doing. He did not object and allowed them both pass. However, that could have been a whole different scenario, as we all know. They encountered wildlife, which is not surprising given how remote these trails are. The most absurd aspect is that the rider was flying down the trail and just caught a glimpse of the creature. At first, he truly believed it might be Bigfoot because he knew it was erect and standing on two legs. Additionally, he said that he didn't even think of a bear when he posted it on social media. He did admit that he was given more adrenaline by this brief view and started running toward the finish line. Quote, "If you believe Bigfoot is following you, you'll cycle a bit more quickly." Thus, Amanda has spent weeks dealing with eerie midnight events. She would be startled awake every few evenings by an unexplained noise. From somewhere close to her bed, there was a rustle, a bump, a muffled thud. Sleep became a valuable resource, as these disturbing sounds kept interrupting it. Amanda made the decision to act alone since she was determined to unravel this mystery. Amanda carefully placed a camera on the nightstand and angled it straight at the bed one evening after tucking her partner in. She turned off the light and did her best to calm down and fall asleep, a knot in her stomach. She did, in fact. The sound of her own breathing was the only sound to break the dense, heavy silence that ensued. She was about to fall asleep when a sound broke the silence. She was awakened by a gentle thump that chilled her. Amanda's eyes opened and immediately looked around the room. The moonlight in her chamber told her that everything was normal, but the recording camera captured something quite different. Amanda didn't know about it. In this video, what appeared to be a tiny, shadowy monster leaped onto the mattress and landed dangerously near her face. After a minute of hesitation, it did something really strange. Before vanishing from the picture, it hurled itself backwards in an odd, gravity-defying way. Amanda woke up the following morning weary yet curious. She had a dim memory of the previous evening. When she hurried to the camera and watched the video, her heart racing. Her spine tingled at what she saw on the television, and her boyfriend's. It was there, the enigmatic creature in all its splendor. They don't have a history, Amanda quickly noted. In any case, the monster in the recording is unlike any animal I could truly imagine. Additionally, this doesn't help them much. There are more questions than answers for Amanda and her boyfriend. What is this weird thing that keeps interrupting their sleep? From where did it originate? What made it pick them? They have begun their search for an explanation for this strange visitor at night, using the video as their sole piece of proof. To be honest, all they want is a good night's sleep. Okay, folks, get ready for a terrifying tale that will make you stop dead in your tracks. In search of excitement, a gang of motorcycle riders entered Nevada's notorious McCoy mine. However, what they discovered will make you wonder about everything. They even brought this courageous child along. Them, so you have to give this person credit. In any event, they discovered something quite unsettling. an abandoned mine with a heap of children's shoes. But hold on, it gets crazier somehow. Bones were mixed in with these sneakers. They were unable to discern if it was human or animal. However, the most eerie and unsettling aspect was that these shoes weren't vintage. These footwear were up to date. There were some Vans, Adidas, Nikes, and Air Jordans, the type of footwear that today's children wear. I'll just say it, really. This is obviously wrong on a number of levels. Who would gather children's footwear and dispose of it in a mine? It seems as though a serial killer or some eerie collector may use it as a trophy room. However, I believe that if this many children disappeared from this neighborhood, there would be a major uproar. In any case, it's a terrible mystery. No coherent explanation can be found. It is pure nightmare fuel. You can't really blame the bikers when they finally made the decision to leave. However, please share your theories in the comments section. What, after all, could account for this disturbing finding? People are frightened by a new TikTok video, so hold on to your mop buckets. Two workers are seen cleaning up at the end of the night in what appears to be a store security camera video. After everything seems to be going as usual, the mop bucket begins to roll by itself. As in what? Legit simply begins to move. It simply begins to move on its own without anyone touching it or bumping into it. Everyone on the internet is obviously freaking out over this. Now, you may be familiar with poltergeists if you enjoy ghost stories. These are thought to be strong spirits with the ability to move items and cause real-world events. Some people think a poltergeist is haunting this mop bucket. Of course, there are always naysayers on the internet. According to some, the bucket may have rolled because the floor was simply extremely moist. Indeed, it's a dull explanation, but it could be accurate. But enough of it. Observe the women's behavior when they obviously spot something that is, well, let's say, not intended to be there. They are flying, after all. They're attempting to go as soon as possible. When you see one go, the second one follows closely behind. Please share your opinions in the comments section. I simply don't know what they might be observing. This next video is becoming viral on TikTok, and you won't believe it. While driving through rural Minnesota, a man called Stephen Kerner noticed something really strange. A small, empty rail car with a caboose attached is visible on the tracks. As you've undoubtedly observed, the peculiar aspect? Yes, it is moving on its own. No driver is present. Kerner was naturally perplexed, but he dismissed it and continued to drive. Things became intriguing once he uploaded the video to TikTok. Viewers with keen eyes picked up on what Kerner had overlooked, an odd, pallid figure dangling from the rear of the train. Eerie, huh? People are freaking out right now. Some people believe that this is a ghost train that has been haunted by a ghost. Some think it's just a strange coincidence, perhaps an example of identifying faces in seemingly unrelated objects. What do you think then? What's the explanation if a ghost isn't behind this? For two fishermen, an apparently routine fishing excursion on the Illinois River took an unexpected and fishy turn. On the trip back to shore, their luck appeared to improve, despite their disappointment at the day's lack of catches. With great expectations for a productive fishing excursion, these two novice boaters start out on the Illinois River. But as the day went on, every empty line made them feel worse. Their disappointment quickly transformed into disbelief and laughter as they prepared to wrap up the day and return. Known for its Asian carp infestation, the Illinois River chose to offer a memorable conclusion. All of a sudden, carp started to show off by jumping out of the water. We may say that the fishermen were taken aback when the fish poured down on the man's boat, leaving them scrambling. As they made the decision to record this chaotic situation on camera, their initial amazement soon gave way to amusement. Their otherwise unremarkable excursion was made more exciting by the carp shower, even though it wasn't your usual fishing experience. The most memorable experiences on the sea can occasionally arise in unexpected ways, as this unusual meeting reminds us. Yes, I do believe that these boys will return.
Over where?
In this eerie video, we watch a young girl abandon her activity and approach the adult who is filming us. There's something there, and she gestures excitedly into the woods. You notice something. See what it is by zooming in. It is certainly out of the ordinary. It has a somewhat strange shape and a slightly human appearance. He doesn't appear to have much of a head, and it's unclear if he's even dressed. It has the appearance of a smoky figure and is nearly translucent, but it feels real and not like a planned joke. This is really disturbing, I must say. This cannot possibly be a hoax. A child would never be involved in such an activity. I'm not able to imagine. However, given the current state of affairs, you never know. I'm getting off topic, though. Simply put, it's difficult to predict what this might be. It serves as a helpful reminder to pay attention to your surroundings, particularly in the presence of children. I'm hoping this has a straightforward explanation and isn't something more nefarious. Hopefully nothing hazardous was hiding in those woods. However, it serves as a helpful reminder to remain vigilant. The following video is a scary one, so buckle up. Late at night, a group of bikers made the decision to investigate a forested path. A huge error. However, look at the trees above them rather than the poor choices. Do you see anything strange? If you look closely, you may see a pale, ghostly figure clinging to a branch. Something eerie. Naturally, the bikers were terrified, thinking they had come across a real-life kuntilanak. For those who are unfamiliar with this frightful creature, let me assure you that it is a nightmare monster that is a direct descendant of Malaysian and Indonesian legend. It is the vindictive soul of a woman who passed away tragically while giving birth. The term alone evokes a spooky woman wearing a bloody white dress and long, dark hair. It seems that this evil spirit harbors a special resentment toward men. If you're unlucky enough to find her, you might hear a woman's eerie laughter or the cries of a baby, especially around a full moon. You should leave based on such warnings. The kuntilanak is notorious for using razor-sharp nails to attack, tearing apart its victims and then devouring their organs. What? Trees are like their own tropical treasure on top of everything else. According to legend, she enjoys hiding in hollow trunks or hanging out on branches. These tales are far more well known in Malaysia and Indonesia. They're still really eerie, though. The following tale is as hazardous as it is insane. According to the legend, a man in California dressed as Bigfoot and went for a walk in the woods. Yes, you read correctly. Indeed, he lacks intelligence. The location where he is located in this portion of the state is extremely popular with hunters. What is this guy thinking again? In fact, a hunter began filming after spotting the Bigfoot impersonator strolling through the forest. He knew the man in the outfit wasn't the genuine one because he had been chatting to a friend, that the Bigfoot was not this one. The hunter mentioned Bigfoot in the nearby trees as one of his friends approached. His pal was going bonkers because he thought they had Bigfoot on camera. Only when a mask or whatever he was wearing failed to completely close up and reveal the bald place on the creature's head was the first hunter able to identify it. I mean, there are questions about this whole situation. Is a series of inquiries. In hunting grounds, why would someone don a Bigfoot costume? And what's the main idea? The video, if anything, demonstrates how realistic the costume appeared from a distance. The following video has been going viral on YouTube. A cat, but not just any cat, is featured. A spectral feline. Matt Rowland, a YouTuber, posted video from his home security camera. It's clear that the camera was positioned to record the comings and goings of this house, but it ended up catching something much stranger. The family's energetic pet cat can be seen in the video leaping up the stairs. But if we wait, another cat will be right behind us. As you can see, the second cat is transparent, resembling a ghost. And everyone, especially those who enjoy ghost stories, was intrigued when he uploaded this odd film to the internet. There are a variety of theories in circulation. Some people are certain it's a real ghost cat, while others believe it's just a strange light reflection. Perhaps it's the ghost of a former pet that used to reside in the house. Or maybe the camera is simply misbehaving and tampering with the picture. Having said that, it is evident that the first cat chose a different path than the second. While the second cat climbed the steps, the first cat circled the railing. Regardless, if it's a camera malfunction or a phantom cat, please weigh in. I was unable to ignore this one. This man discovers a chameleon and initially believes it to be dead until he notices some movement. He also has a thought. He will make an effort to heal this thing. He picks it up and gives it a small amount of water to start. The water was too weak for the chameleon to consume. In order to get the water down its pipe, the man made every effort. The man felt that the chameleon enjoyed it when he finally splashed it with water. He noticed some movement. The chameleon was still too feeble, though. Unbelievably, the man used this chameleon to do mouth-to-mouth, then carried out CPR and chest compressions. He eventually saw more movement, and the man made the decision to take it home and see to its needs. Upon arriving home, he prepares a little solution of glucose water, grabs a small syringe, and begins feeding the chameleon. The chameleon began to gain vigor after a few more days of rest and care. And surprise, he was back, sweetie. For the chameleon to dwell in, the man constructed a basic enclosure. Sometimes he would take it outdoors to collect flies, and if any got inside, he would devour them. The man began to realize that his gut was full, and he began to question whether he was receiving enough exercise. He was either eating too many flies or that. However, it turns out to be neither of those things since the chameleon was about to give birth, which is why she began excavating a hole in a flower pot with such energy one day. Well, the family tree was extended by that one good breed, because he now has a number of chameleons, as you can see. If you think these things are adorable, please share your thoughts in the comments section. My goodness, I didn't know. They don't even appear to be real. Take a look at those minor details. This kind Samaritan's work is amazing. Recently, a Swedish video posted by user Nimrose went viral on Reddit. The video provides a first-person account of what begins as a routine evening stroll, but swiftly takes a sinister and unnerving turn. As she makes her way to the closest bus station near her flat, Nimrose is seen in the video strolling through a forest at night. The darkness undoubtedly creates a scary atmosphere, even if the woodland is next to a neighborhood area, and she has a clear walking path. There isn't much light. She said that everyone travels this route, including herself, and that she knows it well. However, she claimed that something felt different that evening the moment she touched the path. Although it's a generally safe location that is seldom truly questioned, she claimed that she was unable to get rid of an uncomfortable feeling. She pulled out her phone to simply record the situation because she was feeling uneasy. I don't know. Maybe to capture her possible death or just to share her experience. At first, everything appears to be normal as she keeps walking along the route, surrounded solely by the noises of the night. But then something strange occurs a few seconds later, upending everything. In front of her, something or someone seems to emerge from behind a tree. She didn't even respond because she didn't realize it at the moment. However, the odd figure was eventually noticed by the video's viewers. There have been discussions on whether she uploaded this merely to get attention, or whether it was an animal sticking its head out. According to some, it's a cryptid. I'm not sure. What do you guys think it looks like? A couple of buddies made the decision to ride mountain bikes on the Scotland Woods trails. Doesn't it sound like a fantastic adventure? It was, and they're thrilled about it. This vacation seems to be going in a somewhat unsettling direction. His pal is followed by the second rider, who has a GoPro mounted on his helmet. They are tearing through the woods here, yelling, jumping, and simply whipping. Suddenly we notice it as the first rider turns to his right, and he stops for no apparent reason. It looks like a man in a costume or some kind of beast is concealed behind a tree. The blank gaze and pallid face are somewhat unnerving if you kind of zoom in. To determine if it burst out from behind the tree or if it was propped up against it, I attempted to rewind it. I was unable to tell. Some claim that it's just a spooky attempt to frighten everyone, while others claim that these individuals are members of a cult and that he is seeking a sacrifice. Some even claim that it was a witch encounter and that there are witches in these forests. This following bit made me shiver, but I have no idea what the eerie thing is. This GoPro footage was apparently discovered in the woods, abandoned. Nobody is in the area. Abby Rowe, a National Park Service photographer, captured this fascinating image back in 1950. The image, which is in black and white, depicts what appears to be a spectral human being standing in the White House's basement. The figure can be seen in the rear of a space that was still being built. This is when things start to get interesting. Nobody was paying much attention to this ghost when this picture was shot. Nobody knew anything about it, and there were no stories. It wasn't until 2008 that a Missouri man called Bob Martin noticed it while reading the award-winning History of President Truman by David McCullough. This guy was the only one who noticed that this biography had received a Pulitzer Prize. Now that everything has been rearranged, it is also said that this enigmatic person is standing directly next to Lincoln's bedroom. Surprisingly, many people think this is the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's ghost has long been the subject of White House mythology, as some of you may already be aware. Lincoln's ghost has been seen walking the presidential residence's corridors by several presidents and their families. Not everyone is certain that it is a ghost, so don't jump to conclusions. Photographers have told me they believe there may be a more straightforward answer. According to one, the figure might be the consequence of the camera's low ISO setting, which occasionally produces odd results in photos. In the comments, a different photographer suggested that the light might be reflecting off the basement's stone wall pattern. However, I'm not sure. Is this a genuine ghost sighting? Lincoln's ghost, perhaps?
Holy you are right beside me. Like, right there. You are a big Alright, so I guess you want this fish. It's not a very big fish, but you can have it. Oh, there you go, buddy. Well, that's awesome. Alright, well, keep trying to catch more.
Observe this stunning bald eagle. This is amazing. When this man brought this fish in, it had landed. The eagle is allowed to continue its journey when the guy forks over the fish. Take a look at those claws. That's very awesome. After watching this video, I wasn't sure if I was scared or impressed. It was a bit of both, I believe. Take a look at this. Any man who has worked with big machinery understands what it's like to be close to thousands of pounds of steel traveling at such high speeds, a commentator commented. It's simply something different. And I'd have to concur. What's even more amazing, according to another commentator, is when he returns later and raises it again using only his hands. What a fantastic photograph. I'm not sure if this is an elk or a mule deer, but as long as I call it lucky, I suppose it won't mind. He was in the clutches of that mountain lion after all. Let's take our time watching this. I think this is one of the best camera captures I've ever seen. Keep your mind flexible. That might have turned out very differently. Let me start by apologizing for whatever anxiety this video may cause you. As the human attempts to move the egg, we can see that the monster is clearly protecting it. Since I can see the eye, I would concur with the majority of reviewers that it does like a reptile of some kind, such as an alligator or crocodile. Someone else said that this is a particular kind of bird. Look, whatever that is, all this time, I've been waiting for it to leap out and snatch this person's hand away. I assumed it was on until the man reached for it, and the creature pulled back the eye's protective covering, revealing the genuine eyeball. In any case, tell me what this might be. For 7 months, a woman in China had to cope with strange and disturbing graffiti directed at her apartment door. The woman is appalled and afraid as the offender repeatedly stains her entryway with urine and human feces. Anonymous notes accusing her of meddling in another person's family further escalated the hostility. The woman placed CCTV cameras outside her door in an effort to find the culprit. Her perseverance paid off, as she eventually managed to get a video of the 42-year-old offender, who was unmasked and recognizable. Fortunately, the individual was later taken into custody in relation to these assaults. Many commenters have already conjectured that the accusing messages imply that this vandalism may have been motivated by a personal vendetta. Perhaps she unintentionally ran into the man or a member of his family and provoked his ire. I simply cannot fathom someone scrubbing trash on my door. The man appears to be a bully in need of some conversation. However, there may also be mental health problems, so perhaps violence isn't the solution. Finally, it might simply be a case of mistaken identity, where the man was targeting someone else's apartment because he had the wrong one. Wow, I would be much more enraged by that. In any case, neither the complete information nor the man's motivation for the damage were ever made public. Thank God for that camera capture, because at least his arrests ended the woman's suffering. Unreal footage taken on December 26, 2017, the day after Christmas, in Thailand. Mana, a 32-year-old man, had an unexpected near-death experience while he was walking back to his car from his radio workplace, staring down at his phone. The electrical lines over his head simply blow up on their own as soon as he passes the power line. He would have been struck by the power line, which probably would have been fatal if he had waited a fraction of a second longer to react, moved more slowly, or done anything else. Let's simply call it that. In a subsequent interview, Manor disclosed that an electrical malfunction brought on by overheating was the cause of the explosion. In fact, it had melted through a few surrounding wires. The city had been hit by a lot of rain at the time of the tragedy, which made matters worse. Some Thai sources currently claim that certain Thai cities are well known for having infamously hazardous overhead cables. As you can see from the photos, they frequently litter the streets and present a serious risk to anyone who happens to be walking beneath them at the wrong time. Thankfully, Mana was unharmed, but I'm sure he'll require emotional support in addition to the electrical infrastructure in some of these cities. In a recent video, TikTok user Jose Castillo and his buddies are shown doing what they usually do after work, mountain riding on the forested slopes close to Oaxaca, Mexico. After dark one evening, they embarked on a well-known track, but what ought to have been a regular ride swiftly devolved into a horrific ordeal. Something crazy happened while Jose's GoPro was rolling, and it still bothers him to this day. Have you seen it? Jose almost escapes colliding with a stranger that appears in his path out of nowhere. Slowing down the video allows you to see a shrouded figure with a chilly face inside a translucent veil. Jose may have met La Llorona, the notorious weeping woman of Mexican tradition, who is thought to be an angry spirit grieving the loss of her children, according to many of his TikTok followers. However, what do you suppose it might be? Is this video really evidence of the fabled ghost, or is there another reason? Tell me what you think. A bear attempting to flee this man's property is shown in this amusing video. He is simply going to smash through the fence, as you can see. Here's the brief backstory. The bear enters this man's property, scales it, and one day even brings her cubs, but it merely snatches random objects. He claims that it all began when the bear appeared one day when he was cleaning fish back there. He now believes that they simply believe that this is a fish paradise. I doubt he's smiling because this will be the second time he's had to replace his fence. Ghost Hunter Idol. YouTuber Ghost23 is on a quest to investigate a secluded waterfall in the midst of nowhere, encircled by mountains. According to legend, an Encanto, a legendary monster that can appear human, is the environmental ghost that haunts this waterfall. Ghost23 is by himself, using only his reliable camera to scale the waterfall. Things are growing eerie as the sun sets. Next, something strange is seen on camera by Ghost23. A stranger goes away and simply disappears into thin air while he is shooting the waterfall. This person can't have gone anywhere. Below is a precipitous plunge, while above is a sheer cliff. Ghost is really frightened. It appears that the enigmatic person vanished directly into the waterfall. So, was this something else? Or the Encanto? That question is not addressed in the video. However, what are your thoughts? Our following video shows an odd incident that was caught on security cameras at a hotel in Malaysia. A mysterious person darts in front of a car as it drives through the parking lot in the video. Two men exit the automobile as it screams to a stop and look about, but they find nothing. The enigmatic shadow was gone. What might this be now? It is definitely seen on camera. Clearly, the men halted. They left. They appear perplexed. Given how blurry the video is, it might be a stray animal, perhaps darted across the car's path in a hurry. Others pointed to a camera fault or an optical illusion caused by streetlights. Occasionally, they can produce odd visual effects. However, I must admit that I think the majority of people are moving in the direction of an unknown phenomenon. Indeed, a spirit or ghost. I'm sticking with that. However, the officials would respond, "It's impossible to say for sure what the men encountered in the parking lot without more evidence. It was a specter." After all, nothing ruins a quiet evening at home more than an unexpected security system warning. However, sometimes it's difficult to understand what the camera records. An excellent illustration of this kind of mystery is a video that Riri Storytime posted to YouTube. A camera mounted on the front of a house captured this fascinating video. It's nighttime, and although there are the occasional nighttime sounds, everything at home is comparatively calm. Suddenly, though, that tranquility is broken. Two cars are parked in their driveway when a string of mysterious lights dart into the picture and weave between them. The strange thing is that these enigmatic lights briefly flash through the driveway before appearing to float across the roadway. They move in a somewhat systematic way. From where they first appeared, they appear to retrace their steps and start moving back. It almost appears as though they are going straight through the neighbor's house at one point, which is odd.
Thing over cars. What the is that? What is that? It's coming back.
Yeah, it is coming back. Let me see.
Look at that. What the is that, man? That ain't no drone. I'll tell you that much. That ain't no goddamn drone.
Wait, I'm trying to see.
Look at that shit. It's like it goes through the house.
Oh, hell no.
The voices of the homeowners were audible. They are, after all, in the background of this video, just like the action. They insist that the lights are not associated with any drone or other object in their property. To be fair, it doesn't really look like any drone I've seen in the video, but it's interesting nonetheless. A lot of viewers have already jumped to the exciting ending. Is it a spacecraft from another planet? That's definitely a fun theory, but in my opinion, This one video clip doesn't provide enough proof to make a firm judgment. Nevertheless, it is a fantastic camera grab that merits further investigation. I can't get enough of these videos. I adore it when an animal displays vulnerability, as if it were a murdering machine. A polar bear is present. It is a machine that kills people. I could tear this man to pieces. It has the can stuck on its tongue, though. The man's assistance is now required. The fact that this bear is aware that this man is his last resort to remove this thing is just incredibly awesome. He's tried everything, you know. He has no desire to visit that man's home. It's funny because you can see that he nearly tries to enter, saying, "Get this thing off, man. Please stop me from saying this." The man is friendly, but naturally he forbids him from entering his home. However, a team responds to his plea for assistance, sedates the bear, and takes the can off his mouth. According to one of the employees, this man would have starved to death and never been able to stop talking about it. That they didn't know how long he had this device on there, and that kid was already underweight. They placed fish all around him so he could grab some nutrition, fill up, and then return to the woods. So he will also wake up to a pleasant surprise. The following Indian video shows a rickshaw and a furious bull coming dangerously near. The rickshaw is seen traveling down a silent lane at the beginning of the video. A huge bull suddenly and unexpectedly lunges at the rickshaw with simply amazing ferocity. The rickshaw simply flips up onto two wheels due to the force of the hit. Take a look. This bull isn't finished yet, though. The rickshaw attempts to charge once more, but the driver is nimble and steers it into a neighboring woodland, certainly avoiding what would have been a catastrophic mishap. Whoa. This serves as a reminder of the strength of these untamed creatures. In Asia, rickshaws are a ubiquitous sight. Despite their small size and lack of passenger safety, this bull tossed it around like it was a piece of laundry. These bulls are insane, which is why it's crazy. They simply stroll around India. Additionally, I've seen numerous videos of similar content. The loud engine most likely frightened the bull, and things quickly got out of control. Anyway, it was undoubtedly a heart-pounding experience for the driver. On September 18th around 2:20 a.m., if you are a car going through a busy intersection in Mexico City, you may have noticed anything odd. CCTV shows what looks to be a little girl's ghost standing in the middle of the road. The figure may be seen in this video from a variety of perspectives, which is a terrifying feature, showing up simultaneously on 3 separate security cameras. I say it in order to express this. That would be an incredible practical joke. Excuses are unnecessary, though, because the paranormal community is prepared to go. This is full-fledged ghost activity, and they're not hearing anything about a camera malfunction or a fraud. And I must concur. The girl is actually visible. She resembles the one from The Ring. I'm terrified out because of this. I'm not sure. I would really like your opinion on this. Another odd event occurred on Reddit when a member by the name of Lousy Ma posted a picture that has caused the paranormal community to wonder. There appears to be a ghostly presence in the photo. The unsettling aspect, though, is that it's on a baby monitor in a child's bedroom. The image itself shows a humanoid lingering at the edge of the picture, nearly translucent. It is seen directly on the right side, nearly against the wall. The mother who snapped this picture now claims that she did it while her son was sound asleep. The ghostly outline of what many say is a woman, probably wearing a nightgown, has been the subject of countless discussions and conjectures, according to many. In essence, there are a lot of theories in the air. Additionally, there are essentially 2 camps. According to others, this could be a guardian angel or ghost keeping watch over the child while they sleep. That's a really fantastic idea. Perhaps it's a former family member or something. They contend that this enigmatic being may be around to guard or simply keep an eye on this youthful, naive soul. Naturally, not everyone is persuaded at this point. Some doubters suggest more commonplace explanations. They speculate that it might merely be a shadow from an object of some kind. It might be done in a way that deceives your eyes and produces an effect similar to a parabolic curve. Regardless of these differing opinions, one thing is certain. Numerous paranormal investigators have expressed interest in this photograph. Additionally, they are demanding to see additional images of this specific bedroom. It appears that they haven't been able to evaluate photos taken from the precise perspective, which is what most people are actually hoping for. The mother, on the other hand, claims that she is truly fighting excitement. She finds it kind of cool, but there's definitely a tinge of nervousness, so there's more to come. Really, if you see this contraption charging you, what are you doing? Mama is getting it after all. She blows through the barbed wire fence, you see? She would have caught on to you so quickly, my goodness. God shouldn't have given these bears the ability to sprint so quickly, man. I'm not sure. As you watch Mama and her cubs take off, I can tell that the person filming is thrilled. They're glad they're gone, even though they're probably crying and their pants are probably soaked. In the following video, two formidable foes, wild boars and wolves, engage in combat in the wild. Even for a pack of wolves, wild boars are difficult prey. Two wolves are shown in the video attempting to kill a single pig, but he is not having it. In the deep snow, a couple more wolves join the chase, but things don't work out there either. When the boar calls for assistance, its backup quickly shows up. The wolves decide to cut their losses and leave the area because they may be a little young and inexperienced. The next scene in the video shows a boar surrounded by a pack of wolves. The boar fights back hard this time, even driving the wolves away. These boars are obviously not going down easily. The sheer number of boars suggests that the wolves may be in for a long night, even though we don't witness the actual attack. This serves as a helpful reminder that even the most proficient predators don't always prevail in nature, which is full of surprises. Discussions and speculations concerning the afterlife have been triggered by a photograph shot by Sir Victor Goddard on board the HMS Dreadnought. When the video was being developed, members of the Royal Air Force Training Squad recognized Freddie Jackson, one of their airplane mechanics, and one of the most seasoned men in the service. Apparently, that left some folks perplexed. The disturbing thing about this picture is that Freddie Jackson passed away there. This photo was taken 3 days earlier. He perished in a terrible training mishap. The day the picture was taken on the HMS Dreadnought was even the day of his funeral. People are now demanding explanations, and the only one I can think of beyond the possibility that it is the spirit of Freddie Jackson is double exposure, which might be a technical error in the photography process. Another possibility is a misidentification. It's possible that someone else in the picture was wrongly recognized as Freddie, or that double exposure was used to capture someone else's features and make it appear like Freddie. I'm not sure, but this seems like very good evidence of paranormal activity. I mean, this reminds me of Freddie Jackson's ghost. Tragically, he passed away. He desired to be in this picture. He desired for his face and memory to be among these men. He felt a sense of pride. I'm killing it with that. Accordingly, the individual who posted this video has always thought that there was something a little uncanny about her room. She basically believes that her room is haunted, and this video seems to confirm her long-held opinion. She has previously recorded and circulated movies showing what she perceives to be orbs or mysterious spheres of light. This specific recording, though, seems to be unnerving on a completely different level. Take a look. This video, which was recorded in her bedroom, clearly shows an enigmatic shadow moving slowly across her bed. That's not all, though. The mirror to the far left of the room reflects another shadow, which the astute observer will notice if they look attentively. This is particularly strange because, given the arrangement of the space, no source should be able to cast these kinds of moving silhouettes. Furthermore, she has taken the time to record her bedroom, so she feels as though something is happening there. The crucial question now is this video proof of another shadow person? I mean, there are a lot of stories and anecdotes about these guys. For those who have witnessed this identical phenomenon, it may be a terrifying confirmation of their own experiences. But for doubters, there may be a completely reasonable explanation. If you have ever encountered a shadow person, please share your experience. Most dogs are amazing defenders, as we all know. However, the scenario depicted in this video goes beyond their typical duties. When his dog starts acting strangely, the owner simply reaches for his security cameras to see what's happening. And when he looked, he was very taken aback. There's a shadowy, somewhat translucent figure pacing the room. One moment for them, and it's gone the next. The man acknowledged that he was a little afraid as well, but it makes sense that he is perplexed. Any dog owner has witnessed their pet's reaction to invisible stimuli before, but this seems like something else entirely. What are you all contemplating? Furthermore, I have no idea what this might be. Share your theories with me in the comments section. A community witnesses an incredible spectacle in the sky in this dusk footage. In the video, day abruptly gives way to night as darkness rushes across the horizon. Social media is being used by viewers to post their theories, with some speculating that the event could be a Matrix glitch. That statement is almost becoming old to me, but I'm straying off topic. According to this hypothesis, what we are witnessing is a mistake in this virtual world, and that explains the sudden change from day to night. Some have hypothesized that the incident could be the consequence of a government experiment, like the notorious Project Blue Bean. According to this conspiracy theory, sophisticated technology is being employed to produce lifelike holographic projections in the sky, potentially as a psychological trick. I'll say this now. Many of the conspiracy theories that have been circulating lately have been confirmed. Thus, keep an eye out. For now, though, please share your thoughts on this with me. The beginning of this TikTok video is really harmless. It shows a homeowner coming up to her fence, which is covered in Halloween skulls. 4 of these heads are pointing in the same direction, as can be seen, but one skull is particularly noticeable. It appears to be looking back at something because it is facing the other direction. The homeowner is completely unconcerned about it. If anything, she believed that some children were simply teasing them. After readjusting the skull to fit the others, she continues with her day. And for a few days, a week, or 2, or more, this continues. She just fixes the skull as she goes away, but then she abruptly turns and faces the camera. This is clearly on tape and viewers are clearly baffled by it. The most plausible scenario, according to others, is that the skull might have been displaced by a wind gust. Oh no, it doesn't make sense. The other skulls, after all, didn't move. A small blast of wind just whipped through there and spun a skull, right? Yes, I do not believe so. In any case, I welcome suggestions. If one of her children had fishing line hooked to it and spun it while she was standing right next to it, I think it would be hilarious. I do wonder, though, because I don't know the answer. This is such a sweet film, and I can't even begin to think how scared these 2 girls must have been. Take a look at this.
You guys okay, or are you in trouble? Okay, stand by, we're getting you.
Doug, take this camera.
You're fine,
We're gonna get you, don't worry. Just keep coming. We got a ladder and everything. You're fine. Be calm, come. Ladder right there. Calm down. Oh. Easy. Go in there. One side to yours. One side to yours. You guys, thank God we saw you.
Whoa, I got shivers watching that video. How those girls must have felt out there is beyond me. Just vulnerable, defenseless, and if you heard freezing, according to one guy. Oh my goodness, how appreciative are you for these guys if you're the father of one of those girls? The comments that say things like, "This is the most daddest thing ever," are really great. And the father says, "All right, let's finish it. Let's leave you people alone." And I am aware that everyone is giving thanks to God for those gentlemen's timely presence. All right, this is insane. A magnificent red-tailed hawk gave a group of women in downtown Los Angeles an experience of a lifetime. This guy thought that their car would be the ideal place to hang out, and they had the opportunity to see this amazing bird up close and personal for literally more than 15 minutes. Yes, this hawk's poise and composure while sitting there and looking directly into the camera is very amazing. These women made every effort to persuade the hawk to depart, but it was obviously not amenable. They began swerving left and right, using the washer fluid and windshield wipers, and even phoning someone for guidance. Nothing was successful. Not until the bird simply made the decision to move on. If anything, these women have a fascinating tale to share. A live news broadcast in Utah took an odd turn when it became a mysterious meeting that had viewers and social media on edge. A TV reporter's live shot was abruptly cut off during a regular morning show. The reporter made a comment about the animal throughout the broadcast, clearly taken aback, implying at first that it could be a dog. However, that's when the comments from all of the viewers began to pour in. However, they quickly asserted that this animal was indeed a mountain lion. That's what I had believed. A lot of people shared this video. I mean, there were arguments and all kinds of concerns about a possible wild predator showing up on television without warning. I mean, the anchor is just as concerned.
I think it's a dog. I'm not sure. But anyway, there's some sort of creature below me.
She says, "I hope this is a dog," as you can hear. Not only were she and her team somewhat alarmed, but the locals were also alarmed, thinking, "Whoa, we have a mountain lion roaming around. We must exercise caution." But as more research was done, the enigma started to come to light. Division of Wildlife Resources Representative Faith Jolly explained that the animal was actually a dog and not a mountain lion. Utah DWR Outreach Manager Scott Root further verified it, pointing out that the alleged cougar was actually a dog with an unusually long tail. Finally, if you don't think those two are credible, the owner of the dog even contacted the department and sent them pictures to clear up any misunderstandings. The bizarre incident was first reported on social media by Morgan Saxton, the reporter at the center of this, and that's where it really took off. These DWR updates, which include pictures of paw tracks discovered at the area, were later shared by her. It provided more evidence that the animal was, in fact, a dog. Thus, a more banal but amusing revelation marked the end of what started out as an exciting and unsettling live TV event. Particularly in the era of social media, it's pretty amazing how these presumptions can develop into complete puzzles, tales, and speculations. In any case, I thought I'd follow up. Regardless of the dog or mountain lion, this is a really cool video. Okay, so this was recently photographed in Vermont. After numerous complaints of a bear in the attic space above a deck, local police and wildlife officials arrived to an apartment complex. You know, the reason this bear was exerting so much effort to climb up here was a mystery to wildlife experts. Following a quick examination, it was discovered that the bear had been attracted to the location by an empty bird feeder. An empty bird feeder, that's all. As he walks away, notice all the insulation on the floor. Anyway, I'm happy it got fixed. I won't even reiterate how terrified I am of these things. Watch as it transports its victim to an undersea tomb. You do not want to get caught in the act of doing it. This is a really awesome video. Nobody has been able to figure out what it is. Most folks initially believed it to be a shark. Others are referring to it as a mermaid, of course. The only plausible explanation I could find was that this might be a massive squid. However, I don't believe it's something evil, as most people seem to suggest. Lauren Orange, an Instagram user, posted a video that initially appeared to be innocent, a pleasant moment between a couple standing in front of a door. Upon closer examination, however, an unsettling moment was captured on camera. A dark, long-haired individual is observed stealthily entering the room in the house's background. At the time, no one engaged saw anything out of the ordinary. Lauren and the couple didn't understand they had caught anything much more sinister than they had initially believed, until they went back and watched the video. Is there anything more enigmatic going on in that house, or may it just be a trick of the light? Tell me, please. These bald eagles have landed on this fishing boat, so let's go to Dutch Harbor and see them all. Look at them all, even though they're all really gorgeous. They're probably doing what other sharks, fish, and birds do now. Hoping to pick up some scraps, follow a fishing boat. That's a lot of freedom on one boat, though.
What's up, buddies? Yo! Wow! What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Everybody just hanging out today, huh? Waiting on lunch.
Have you ever been the victim of someone claiming to have seen you somewhere you weren't? A woman recently posted a spooky incident on YouTube that will make you wonder about everything. She receives a video from the cops when they arrive one morning. The video, which was captured by her neighbor's security camera, depicts a woman in an odd, nearly human-like manner creeping around a car. The worst part? She looks just like the woman in the video. She is visibly shocked and maintains that she was asleep at home when this video was recorded. She clearly doesn't, though. She doesn't remember ever being outside, much less acting strangely. So let's go more slowly. What's happening? She may have been sleepwalking, according to some viewers of the video. Others speculate that the strange behavior might be the result of a pharmaceutical mix-up. She may also be high on narcotics, according to others. I was sort of heading there. However, the woman claims she is not on any medications and doesn't even drink. Others speculated that it might be the well-known sleeping pill Ambien. Then it becomes even more bizarre. A few commenters are speculating about shapeshifters. Yes, the beings that have the ability to change into other individuals. They think this imposter is acting strangely and roaming around town looking like her. It's a crazy notion to be sure, but crazier things have happened. I'm not sure if it's drug or alcohol abuse, sleepwalking, a pharmaceutical problem, or something else entirely. This whole thing is just strange. A farmer was working in his field when he took this odd footage. Take a look at these bundles of hay. They're just randomly taking off from the ground. Then they fall back to the ground. The farmer was obviously utterly perplexed. In fact, the farmer saw something in the distance. When he began filming, he wasn't as near to the hay bales as he is now, and he was clearly interested in this. Perhaps there is a strong breeze over there, he thought. Perhaps a windstorm of some kind or a microburst. However, if you look attentively, you won't see any indication that the wind is blowing. Additionally, I've noticed that the bales of hay that fly up aren't always the ones nearest to the others. It just looks arbitrary. I must admit that I believe this to be a hoax. An eye of some kind must be involved. If you look at the hay bale slowly, it appears as though there is some kind of haze or manipulation on it. Prove me incorrect, but I can't think of a normal explanation for this. It would be wonderful if you did. If there was anything that could have caused this, I would really like to know. Particularly if you've witnessed something similar. A group of hikers are cornered by a polar bear in the snow in this horrifying 2022 photo. The hikers were simply proceeding when a polar bear, who appeared somewhat mischievous, abruptly stopped them in their tracks. This creature begins sniffing around and even snatches one of the hikers' coats and drags it off. even though it doesn't look like a mature polar bear. To be honest, I believe he hoped that someone was wearing the jacket. Suddenly, the hiker began to make noises, which, fortunately for some reason, scared the bear away. What would you all have done in this situation? The bear did appear quite hostile after all. He didn't attack them, so perhaps it was their lucky day, but I could be reading that incorrectly. This bear phrase always comes to mind. Lay down if it's brown, fight back if it's black, it's good night if it's white. In other words, you should lie down and pretend to be dead if you come across a brown bear. If you fight a brown bear, you will lose. It will likely kill you if you try to protect or run. Now you should yell, kick, and get large if you come across a black bear. Being rather cautious, black bears typically don't want to deal with the hassle of a battle. And for the man, the white polar bear. Simply put, things don't seem promising. Fortunately for our trekkers, however, they survived with a tale to share. Something strange was caught on a security camera. It was a humanoid-shaped, little, violent creature that moved like an animal on all fours. The details get even more disturbing when you zoom in, displaying a distinctively non-human visage. What might this uncanny figure be? Some people conjecture. It might be a mythical creature or a recently found species that lurks in the darkness. Whatever it is, there are more questions than answers about its look. This is a somewhat different clip, but it was just too hysterical to ignore. Take a look at this. I believe that when I say that I am extremely happy that Ring cameras and all of these cameras did not exist while I was growing up, I am speaking for everyone. I would have this on the big screen TV when everyone came down for breakfast, a girl commented. This is hilarious. Sleep research has long yielded important insights into the intricacies of the human brain. What if one of these experiments did not only record normal brain activity, though? That's exactly what happened in 2014 when a YouTube video from a sleep research sparked a lot of interest. In what appears to be a typical hospital environment, the video shows a patient soundly dozing while connected to many monitors. Above the sufferer, a bizarre white creature suddenly materializes and quickly moves to the left. It appears to pause for a moment, as though watching the sleeper from above. Some people dismissed the video as dust on the lens, but it immediately became a phenomenon on the internet. Others, however, conjectured that it might be a real ghost sighting. There has long been a link between sleep and the paranormal. Sleep problems and nightmares have been associated with supernatural phenomena for millennia. Many people describe having harrowing dreams that are so real they transcend rational explanation. For this reason, sleep paralysis is particularly notorious. People wake up during it, but they are immobile, and occasionally they sense an enigmatic presence in the space. Is this just the brain playing tricks, or is this a genuine contact with the unknown? The possibility that sleep could serve as a gateway to unearthly experiences is another fascinating theory. According to the theory of astral projection, our souls have the ability to transcend our bodies when we sleep and enter other dimensions or regions. Some others think that this type of out-of-body experience may have been connected to the white figure in the film. Sleep is still a mysterious topic that we are only now starting to investigate, regardless of whether the odd shape shown on camera was the result of a technical error or something otherworldly. I adore this video. This is simply the cutest video, I must say. It depicts a raccoon who has discovered a method to obtain a complimentary dinner, and the entire incident was captured on camera by a family. Thus, this mother raccoon. She has discovered a cunning trick and has been dubbed Roxy, so we'll call her that. When her stomach is empty, she wants part of the food that this family puts out for their cat. This is what she does if it's gone.
Someone's knocking at the door.
Because raccoons are den animals, Mama spends the day working hard to find food while staying at home at night to defend her young. When the cat food bowl is empty, you can guess what she does. Grabbing a pebble, this cute tiny creature begins to bang on the glass door.
Because you've been stealing. What are you
spelled R-O-C-K, that's why, steals the cat food, and when the bowl's empty, she gets a rock.
She seems to be pleading, "Come on, it's my turn. Fill the basin again. It's time for a snack." Mama is starving. The homeowner claims to have fed Roxy in the past, so the raccoon most likely thought it was worth a try. And it was successful. However, let's discuss where this video's true focus should be. What is this raccoon's intelligence? This is astounding, really. Visiting a person's home is one thing. They have food, you know that. However, this tiny creature has grabbed a rock and knocked on this window with it. To be honest, I had no idea that animals could be so intelligent. This is remarkable. This item is like something for little children. In any case, this has greatly impressed me. This serves as a nice reminder that raccoons are intelligent and may occasionally be very resolute. At the end of the day, this is simply too cool, and Mama is only trying to feed your young. I should probably also mention that this is a good lesson to be cautious while feeding wild creatures. Resourcefulness, in my opinion. The perils of flying at low altitudes, particularly in mountainous areas, are brought to light by a catastrophic plane crash that occurred in Colorado in 1984. On August 10, 1984, James Cadell and his buddy Ronald Willman left Granby for Jeffrey, Colorado, on a small plane. The plane, well, it just disappeared, and months of thorough searches have produced nothing, until 3 years later. The remains of Cadell's plane were discovered by a hiker in the Rocky Mountains in August 1987. The weather had long already claimed the lives of the pilot and passenger, but amid the debris, an unexpected finding was made. A VHS tape from a camera installed in the cockpit that was severely damaged but still salvageable. As an aside, please leave a comment below if you have no idea what a VHS cassette is, but also Google it, and you'll be amazed. Authorities were able to save and reassemble a piece of the tape despite the fact that it was nearly destroyed, severely charred, and partially entangled in tree branches. The video that was retrieved provided a terrifying look into the last moments of the aircraft. That's one way of putting it, yes. The video is quite unsettling. Professionals who watched the video, James, the pilot, was seen in the video flying dangerously low over the tree line. Now I'd like to know what this actually does if any pilots are listening. Does it affect the engine in some way? Or is it just normal things like visibility? You can't fly too near, of course. Otherwise, you risk hitting a tree. This brings me to my next composition. Additionally, sounds corresponding to engine stalling were recorded on the video. According to experts, the pilot may have tried to avoid the mountains by suddenly boosting the throttle. In any event, the tragic story of James Cadell and Ronald Willman continues to illustrate how harsh mountain flying can be. This is an insane video. Volcanoes are erupting now. We've all seen footage of this natural force, but take a look at this. High above this haze, an odd thing is happening. Indeed, did you notice that? You see that shiny thing? It's heading directly for the opening of the volcano. Then it was gone, poof, simply vanished in a cloud of smoke. This isn't just a falling object, though. As it descends, its speeds appear to be controlled. Let's get right to the point. What is the most important question? Anyone can guess. Is that a UFO? We can't simply explain it, that's for sure. Look at this thing, I mean. At first, I believed it might have been something that erupted from the volcano. However, I think it's just strange how it disappears into the smoke. Since the possibility of something extraterrestrial appears plausible at the moment, if anyone has any additional information about this video or a plausible explanation, please share it in the comments section. Here's another amazing clip that was sent to Squatch watchers. My first thought is that this is a bear, but I'm not sure. This is supposedly a Bigfoot destroying a shed. I can see the eyes, but it didn't appear that athletic. Perhaps it had to do with the paw slap. I imagine Bigfoot to be more athletic than that, which seemed a little careless. Whatever it is, I'm not sure. It took a toll on this shed. I doubt that we will be able to obtain conclusive evidence from this clip. Imagine waking up and catching a glimpse of a full-on bear wrestling battle taking place on your lawn via your window. That's precisely what one homeowner had to go through. At the end of the day, you have to classify this as one of the amazing things that occurs in your yard, even though I believe I would be a bit spooked out if I opened the front door and was taken by surprise and saw this. Fortunately, these were not colossal grizzlies about to strike. 2 juvenile black bear cubs were observed by the homeowner, rolling and wrestling in the front yard. They were just tumbling and tussling like some happy overgrown puppies, and it looked like they were having a great time. The homeowner was rather shocked to witness wild creatures enjoying life up close, and just being themselves when they received the notice from their reliable Ring camera that this was happening. Mama's not far away when there are infants around, as we frequently say in these videos. It's usually better to observe these wild animals from a safe distance, even though they appear adorable and cuddly. Even though this story is from a few years ago, it's insane. This incident took place in the Atlanta, Georgia, backyard of a user's house. When the couple's Nest IQ security system warned them of movement in the backyard late at night, they were already happily established in their home. Although I don't have a lot of expertise with this kind of technology, it is made especially to recognize faces. In essence, it asks if you recognize the individual after displaying a picture of their face. The security warning posed a perplexing query at exactly 10:54 p.m. Is this someone you know? A blurry, nearly translucent face that seemed to be hiding in the yard was depicted on the screen. In their Reddit article, the original poster stated that they weren't making the claim that the photograph was of a ghost right away. Nevertheless, the spectral vision was unavoidably frightening them. After obtaining the image, the doubters said, "This is definitely a case of pareidolia. In essence, the phenomenon whereby the brain recognizes recognizable structures or patterns in seemingly random objects. The strange thing is that this explanation isn't totally accurate. It doesn't explain, after all, the first indication of movement in the backyard that set off this alarm. In essence, they had a case of pareidolia when the alert was triggered. I'm not sure. However, the picture has gained a lot of attention, and there are differing views. What are your thoughts then? Is this an optical illusion or a real ghost? People tend to perceive things differently in circumstances like this, where there is a lack of tangible evidence. People have to make their own decisions about what they believe, and the truth may never be revealed. Maybe we'll never be certain. However, I believe there is a connection here. Alright, this might be among the 10 creepiest vids if it's real. This settling incident at the Wingate Hotel was captured on CCTV. Alright, so this video shows hotel security rushing to guests' aid after they reported hearing cries emanating from an empty room. There are no people inside. This circumstance was made even more chilling by the staff's confirmation that the room was empty. This is perhaps the most hair-raising aspect. When a security man called John entered the room, the screaming suddenly stopped. Now pay close attention. There appears to be a shadowy creature darting out. However, as we mentioned, the room is completely vacant upon inspection. Nevertheless, every piece of furniture is upside down and not in a way that would indicate a battle or anything related. This was intentional. All right. So, potential justifications. What have you all got? I must admit that it's a little unsettling to listen to the other guy on the walkie-talkie. In fact, he appears more frightened than John. Dude, he says, just leave there, man. We'll work this out later. Await the arrival of the cops. Again, I'm not sure about potential explanations. I don't know, everyone says. Many folks mention paranormal activity. We don't know anything about the room. There, someone might have perished. I'm not sure. There could have been a kidnapping there. A negative event might have occurred. It's really hard to tell what John actually experienced at the Wingate Hotel without more research. Additionally, if you know anything about this long-running video, please share it with me. I'd be interested in learning more. Here's another awesome video about a dog who hid beneath these hunters' trees after escaping a bunch of coyotes. The fact that these individuals spotted the coyotes and just fired a shot into the air, causing them to flee, was not captured on camera. However, this dog appeared. It appears to be merely a stray with a brindle tint. It lays down on the ground beneath the tree stands and sort of sleeps there, though they're not sure if it belongs to anyone. The thing is most likely worn out. They had dubbed the dog Camo, and Camo was simply dozing in the leaves when the lads went down as their hunt was coming to an end. It was getting late. In any case, these two men claim to have never seen anything like this before, after adopting the dog and taking it home. Now that it raises the topic, if animals are aware that people are secure, I would assume that the dog had once been a pet because in the wild, it would most likely flee from its owner. Any theories you may have about that would be interesting to me. You can also check how submissive the dog is, docile, worn down, and hungry. He seems to have recently pursued a new life on his own.